Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Captain, and today I'm going to be talking about and reviewing the Blinks Epic Adventure set. So like many of their basic sets, it comes with 6 Blinks in here, and I want to start by giving a big thank you to Move38, the publisher of Blinks, for sending me this set to check out and play and review. Before we get too into this though, I do want to say I have a bunch of links down in the description below that you can check out at your leisure. There's a link to BoardGameCaptain.com, which is a great hub for all things Board Game Captain. There is a link to my Patreon if you're in a position to and would like to support the channel. You may do so there. And there's also a link to my Teespring store where you can get great shirts and mugs, things like this shirt here that says, I drink and I game. It's what I do. All of that great gamer gear can be purchased at my Teespring store. Link in the description down below. All right, so now first thing I want to talk about in regard to this new set of Blinks, the Epic Adventure set. The packaging is really, really nice. I'm not sure how well this is going to show up here on camera. I may put pictures up on screen. But they've got foil on it in certain areas to give a kind of rainbowy sheen. The illustration is in my opinion, much improved. This is merely a cosmetic difference between this and some of the older sets, but I really like the upgrade in the cover art on this package, and I did want to draw attention to that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about with the set, which it comes with, again, 6 Blinks. I have a bunch more out here for something I'm going to talk about in a minute. It comes with one of the sushi rolls. I like how the sushi rolls are now varying in their color. This one is red. The basic ones for the first few sets were orange. There was one previous one that was purple. If you'd like to see a full explanation on how these all these Blinks games work, as well as a discussion of the sushi rolls and things like that, I'm going to put a link up above me here to my review of the Blinks game system. Over there you can check out how the Blinks work and such, because I'm not going to really be going into that too much here. Then, of course, it comes with a rule book with the rules to all 6 games, and of course 6 Blinks, each one of which is a game. So for instance, here is one of the Blinks games. This is Alchemach. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that this should not be your first Blink set unless you are buying this at the exact same time as another set of Blinks, because the vast majority of the games in here require you to have 2 sets, with the exception of one that requires you to have 3 sets of Blinks to even be able to play the basic version. So this is not meant to be your first set of Blinks, because by itself, none of these games are actually playable. The smallest number of Blinks of any of these games in here required to play that particular game is 8 Blinks. The majority of the games in here require you to have 12, and in the case of one particular game in here, Crownfall, you are required to have a minimum of 18. So with 2 sets of Blinks, this one and another, you can play all but one of the games in here, and with 3 sets, you can play all of them. So I would not recommend this unless you already have at least 1 set, or you are buying it along with another set. But that said, you could buy it along with the basic set that comes with Fracture, which is one of my favorite of all the Blinks games, which requires 12 as well, and combined together then you could play all but one of the games in both sets, and that would work as well. But like I said, if you're just buying one set, this shouldn't be the first set you buy. Now, let's move on and talk about some of the individual games, and while I'm discussing them, I'm going to be showing a bit of video up on screen of gameplay footage of us playing the games. So the first game is Tiptoe Volcano. Now, Tiptoe Volcano is awesome. This is one of my favorite games in the entire set. This has a bit of press your luck, bluffing, memory, all in this really tight package. So what happens is you use a minimum of 8 Blinks, though you can use more, and you evenly split them up amongst the players. You can play 2 or more players in this game. And what you have to do is, once you've decided how many Blinks you're using, and therefore how many Blinks each player is getting, because it has to be, again, an even number per player. So Lynn and I believe we're playing this at 4 or 5 or 6 Blinks a piece. I think 6. I think we started at 6 a piece. What you do is you hide the Blinks behind your arm, and you select which ones are going to be lava traps. The other Blinks are going to stay green, and then afterwards you double click the Blinks, and then they all turn green. So your opponents don't know what's what. Then you all join your sets of Blinks together, and you start bidding on how many spaces you think you can walk on before hitting a lava trap. So the first person says, I can walk on 2 spaces. The second person says, I can do 3. Then the third person says, I can do 4. Then back to the first person, they're like, I can do 5. At some point in which you think that they may have pressed their luck too far, someone can call you on it and say, you know what? Prove it. Prove you can do 5. And then they have to click 5 of the blinks that are, each one is adjacent to the last one they clicked, and the first one they click must be on their own set. If they're able to click all 5, the person who called them on it loses a blink from their set, and you do it all again. However, if they hit a lava trap, they lose one of their blinks and do it all again. If you run out of blinks, you're out of the game. So there is a little bit of player elimination. However, this is like a 15-minute or less game. This game does not go very long, so it's going to be over pretty quickly, even if you're playing more than 2 players. I really like this one. This was one of my favorites in the group. The next one was Ghost Hunters. So Ghost Hunters is totally co-op, and this is one where you are real time. You have a haunted mansion that you build in the middle, and ghosts and poltergeists and ghouls and goblins will appear. You know what they are based on their colors. The ghosts are white, the ghouls are red, the poltergeists are blue, and the goblins are green. And each of you has a blink that you change its color to the right color and attach it to have a beam of light go across the blinks in the haunted house and kill the ghost, goblin, or poltergeist. Or in the case of in the case of a goblin, you actually have to have 2 beams of different colors hit it at the same time. The space will be slowly filling up. The space that is the ghost, poltergeist, or goblin will be slowly filling up with the color of whatever color they are. And if they fully fill up, you lose, and everyone loses. However, if you're able to last a certain amount of time, you all win. Now, this game is super hard. We played a bunch of games of this, Lynn and I, and we were not able to win even on the lowest difficulty. And you can change the difficulty from 1 to 6. We played on 1 mostly, and we're not able to win. So FYI, this one is super challenging. I would like to try it some more to see if I could possibly win at it, but it is hard. So I just want to throw that out there. The main reason it is so difficult is because of how quickly the bad guys show up in the haunted mansion, as well as how quickly they fill up with color. So be aware that playing that one, you are in for a challenge. Now, the next game is Alchemach, and I say the game Alchemach loosely because it's not really a game. There's not actually rules with how to win. In fact, it says here, Alchemach has no explicit goal and can be played endlessly. It's really more of an activity. It's where you match up colors, and the more matches you make, the more the colors blink and flash. And then eventually, after you've made 10 matches, on a particular blink, it will turn into a bomb. And if you have just a couple seconds to hit the bomb, if you hit the bomb within the couple of seconds, it will blow up all the ones next to it into its color, which will then cause a bunch more matches. We did a slight house rule on this one where we said if you're able to make a bomb and then you're able to hit it, if you realize you're able to hit it, you will win. So the first person to get the 10th match and hit the bomb wins the game of Alchemach, and it played okay like that. But the actual rules of this don't have it actually being a game. So I'm a little less emphatic on liking that one. Though the matching was kind of fun and interesting. The next one we have here is Crownful. So Crownful is a bit weird, and you got to play on a big, nice, slick table like the one I have here. That is where we played on, because you get a bunch of different pieces, and you're flinging them across the board and trying to knock pieces off the table. The main piece you really want to knock off the table is your opponent's crown. Every time it gets knocked off the table, it loses hit points and then can be picked up and put back on the table. There are other pieces that also have special abilities. Like one of my favorites was the Assassin, because you're allowed to take 2 actions on your turn, and both of them can be flicks, but also some of them could be special abilities. And for the Assassin, for instance, its special ability is you can pick it up, put it down wherever you want, and then make a flick. And that was pretty cool. This was an interesting little dexterity game, very different from a lot of the other games that there are in Blinks. There is one other, I think, flicking game so far, but this one was pretty cool. It was interesting. The next one is Treasure Tumble. This is one of the most innovative games in this entire set. I like this one a lot. One of the most interesting things about it is the first Blinks game I have seen that uses the sushi roll as part of setting up of the game, because the sushi roll gets set up with you and the other players' treasure buckets on the bottom in the sushi roll, and then you put one of the other blinks in between them. The way blinks get placed as you're placing them up adjusts what they are. You decide how many blinks you're going to play with, a minimum of 12, and you take turns adding blinks to the stack. You keep building it up and building it up and building it up. And then when it's fully built, on your turn, you're allowed to pull 3 blinks off one at a time and place them somewhere else. And you're trying to make some blinks that are funnels that are going to funnel the treasure down to you. Other blinks are seesaws. As they get hit by a treasure, they will flip to the other side. Those are called switchers. There are some blinks that are splitters, that if a treasure goes in there, treasure goes out in every direction. And there are some blinks that are death traps, where if any treasure goes in there, it's destroyed. And you have this one green piece that after you take 3 of the pieces off of the stack and move them somewhere else, you move that to the top, and you're hopefully, if you've done it correctly, the treasure is going to your bucket, not your opponent's. You want to fill up your bucket before your opponent does, and on the way down, it's kind of almost like a Rube Goldberg machine or like a marble machine as the treasures are going through the different funnels and the different seesaws and going to different areas. But at the same time, it's also a dexterity game, because remember how I said you're only allowed to take pieces off one at a time. If you ever knock down the formation, you lose. This is one of the most innovative designs in this entire set, and is actually one of the most innovative designs I've seen of any Blinks game so far. And that this is definitely up there, along with, like I was saying before, with Tiptoe Volcano, one of my favorite games in this set. Really, really cool, and one of the ones that makes the set definitely worth having. Now, the final game in the set is Thalassophobia. Thalassophobia is a solo game, and this is a solo game I will be revisiting. Now, the game is really, really cool and really, really interesting. You play it one player out on the table. You are a diver in some deep, dark ocean caves, and you are running out of air. You have 6 minutes to find your way around the area until you can find a passage that will lead you up. You're only able to see really right around you, though, because your flashlight has a limited range. So there are green tiles, there are blue tiles. The green tiles are seaweed messes. You can't swim through those. The blue tiles you can swim through to move around. Sometimes, though, if you can't move, you have to pull tiles out from the formation and put them back in a different spot to further be able to move around the area until you find either a blue or green tile that is flashing, and then you got to swim into it. Those are the only time you can swim into a green tile is when the green tile is the one flashing, and that will move you up to the next level. If you can move up 6 times, you make it to the surface of the ocean and survive, but if you go 6 minutes without moving up 6 times, you will suffocate. Now, Lynn and I have each played this game, and I find it fairly easy, though it does feel like the pressure is on, that you got to keep going, you got to rush to get up. I do wish there was a harder mode, but I do think also you can kind of make this harder by making the board bigger, so it makes it harder to find the other areas where the flashing is, because if you're not right where it is, it might disappear and move somewhere else. So that could make it more difficult. I think I will try this with a larger set of blinks to see if that makes it harder, because at the size we were playing it at, it wasn't too bad. Both of us were able to get through it pretty quickly, but that said, it was actually quite enjoyable. This was a really good solo game, and is also one of the better games in this set. So there you have it. That's a bit of a description of each of the 6 games that comes in the Blinks Epic Adventure set. So there's one game in here that I think is absolutely fantastic, and that is Tiptoe Volcano. I think it's my favorite game in the set. There's a couple games that are really quite good in here. And those would be, I'm a big fan of Thalassophobia and Treasure Tumble. After that, Ghost Hunter seems super challenging. Maybe I might like it better after I've played it a bit more. It did seem good, but it's really tough. That one is like unbelievably difficult, even at the lowest difficulty level. So I'm going to have to play that one some more to see if I can improve at it. Alchemash was a bit iffy because, again, there wasn't actually a win condition in there. Though it is an amusing time waster activity, if you will. Crownfall was pretty fun. It's a cool little flicking game. Definitely enjoyed it. So overall, I would say, there's no real super duds in this set. This set was really good. It's far more good than bad. I would definitely say this is a really good set to get if you've already got one set of blinks, because this is a great way to be able to play a lot. And this is a fantastic set to get if you've already got two sets of blinks. The reason being, so many of these games play so much better with like 18 blinks, which is freaking awesome. For me, especially because I do have that many blanks and I like playing with really large sets of them in certain games. So for that matter, if you've already got, say, the community set and the basic set and you're looking for a third set, this is a fantastic set to get. So because of those reasons, I am going to give the Blinks Epic Adventure set a 7.5 stars out of 10. This is a really good set. It's got some really cool games in here, and there's a really good second or third buy for Blinks sets. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of the Blinks system or the Blinks Epic Adventure set. And if you enjoyed this review and you'd like to see me do more reviews of gaming products like this, be sure to give this video a like, share it on all forms of social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Captain. That's Captain spelled with a K on YouTube. And until next time, game on.